If you truly want to make a difference in the world with your business, its services, its products, you have to be consistent. Now, as a great leader, you can answer the tough question honestly. Are you consistent in everything you do? How do we then quantify what is being consistent? Sure, consistency comes down to what we do every day to keep our businesses afloat or growing or even achieving greatness. But in reality, the best brands are the ones that are uniform by most measures. The best brands are the ones where their products are delivered and services delivered consistently. The way the business manages itself is consistent and people are consistent. The systems are in place to ensure that consistency. Now, don't get consistency confused with experimenting or innovating. You, of course, can still do those while still being consistent. Consistency is about keeping our standards high in everything that we do and everything we are about. Welcome to JTInTheRaw, show 264, right through the thin on business, and after 32 years in business, I have just a few thins to chew. And this week's show is inspired by a compliment that I received yesterday. I was doing a podcast interview and the podcaster said to me, "You're one of the most consistent people in the fitness industry. You are delivering consistent content." And I took that as a real compliment. And then that made me stop and think about what is consistency, how does it look, what should we do? And I think about some of our best sports people on the planet. They consistently train. Every day they're doing some form of training. That consistency has made them great. Some of our best leaders in the world, journalists, they journal, not journalists, they're not necessarily the best. Some of the best people in the world, they journal, they read, they network consistently. So us as leaders, we need to lead consistently in our departments, our business, or even just our teams. So let's think about this. Brand consistency. Well, brand consistency is at the core of consistency in business, as everything we do builds stronger brand presence. Everything we do builds that presence. Brand consistency is so crucial. Every dollar that we spend, morning Nikki, how are you? Every dollar we spend on advertising builds upon a campaign that we made earlier. Every social media post, every social media campaign that we do, a Google campaign that we do, any marketing in any channel builds on our brand, and that's why consistency of that message is so critical, not just in look, but in message. And if we're to change our brand message or our brand look between campaigns drastically, then all of the benefits prior to that advertising are now lost. The impact is lost, and people have to learn to recognize your brand again. Sometimes even that slight change in our brand message, well, it can have unexpected results for us. And as we know, some consumers need to see that same brand message 7 to 10 to 12 plus times before they actually act. So if we consistently change the brand message, we are consistently starting again. So wouldn't it make sense to save money, save time, and save energy by keeping that same brand look and same brand message? Good morning, Jackie Hobbs over there in the UK. How are you? Now that the times are changing, instead of listening to me when you're going to sleep, you get to listen to me when you're having your last cup of tea for the night. All right, so let's talk about product and service consistency. Great story about this in Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth. So I recommend, if you haven't read that book, it's a great book to read. Michael Gerber's E-Myth. A successful and sustainable business achieves amazingly high levels of consistency in their products and their services when they deliver them. The quality is consistent. The delivery is consistent. And it simply needs to be the same when your business deals with every single customer. If you want to build that sustainable business for the future, your offerings have to be identical every time, if not better. And then once they become better, they all become better. You know you will get more repeat customers. You know you will get increased word of mouth. You know you'll get more referrals. And marketing in general will be cheaper when you are consistent. Alan Leach, I think I just saw you there. How are you, mate? Hope you're doing well. Love those photos of Ireland you keep posting, by the way. Okay, but we also know that bad customer experience, they tend to go beyond that initial customer. So it's so important around that consistency in our product and our service delivery. Of course, you know, the key is that we maintain that product quality, even when something does eventually go wrong. And things will go wrong in our business. Things will go wrong in our team or with our staff. But we just have to then be consistent by having that solid customer support channel, that we can consistently compensate for bad experiences, that we can quickly address the problems and the issues, and that we do enough to fix those issues up. That becomes our challenge. If we can do that on a consistent basis, we repair the business. Your goal should always be to ensure that you provide the very best quality out there, especially when you compare it to your competitors. Consistently deliver that. What about growth in our business? Well, consistent growth is really important, and that is a really difficult one to sometimes compare, because a mature business might be looking for consistent growth in regard to their EBITDA, whereas a startup might be looking for consistent growth in cash in order to get to profitability as fast as they possibly can. The idea to achieve consistent growth, regardless of your business goals, that's the key. Consistent growth, regardless of whatever your business goals are. And achieve the growth rate that's appropriate to the business model, the industry, your products, your customers, your economy. Just get it consistent. It's a lot easier to run a business when the income is that than the income doing that. When it's bouncing around, that makes cash flow, projections, budgeting, expenditure near on impossible. Your goal must be consistency. We need to reach that level of consistency that we can manage without sacrificing any other elements to make the business great. Now the big one for me and the important one for me is consistency in management. Consistency in how you lead your people. Because at the end, this is the core function of driving consistency in business. When we consistently lead our people well, then they will consistently lead our business well. And a whole culture in your business is derived from that consistency. If we as leaders are consistent in the way we manage our business, oh my gosh, it's so much easier for the others in our business. It's so much easier for them to understand our business, to create valuable relationships with customers and other stakeholders, in order for customers to become customers of ours, from prospects to become customers when we're consistent. And it's also really easy for us to listen to what we do. If as leaders and managers, we can tick the goals that we set out to achieve, that they come to fruition, then we can build that culture of consistency. The consistency that our stakeholders can easily follow and admire. That becomes your key, ladies and gentlemen. Is it easy to measure consistency? I actually think it is. Some say it's difficult. I think it's easy. I think it's easy to measure, and I think it's easy to quantify, because you will know. You will know if you are consistently presenting the same brand message. You will know if you're consistently giving that service or that product delivery. And you will know whether you are consistently managing your team well and there is growth. You just know it. Consistency in business creates many benefits. And you can use all of them to your advantage. But that's only after you realize the importance of consistency in your business. And I'm hoping today stimulates, plants that little acorn seed that then grows into an oak tree inside you of consistency and the importance that you place upon it. It's everything you do. Whether it's working out, whether it's marketing, or whether it's your people management. We need to realize that any small change on that larger picture will have an impact. So is it worth that change? What is the value of that change? While stagnation in business is not an option, we need to be continually growing and moving forward. Consistency is part of that equation. The goal, create a plan, stick to it, analyze it if it didn't work, and rinse and repeat. It's as simple as that. So, if you are persistent in business, persistent in your training, persistent in your professional development, if you are persistent in your brand message, you will probably get it. You'll probably get the end result. However, if you are consistent in business, consistent in life, consistent in reading, consistent in training, consistent in development, you'll definitely get it. Consistency is the key. It requires discipline, focus, and a desire. Tick those 3 boxes and you're well on the road to being consistent and seeing your business grow, maybe replicate if that's what your goal is, but certainly become more profitable and perhaps even less reliant on you as the leader. Hey, if you got any value out of today's show, JTInTheRaw, talking about consistency, I would love you to share the show. Just hit the share button wherever it is on whatever device you are watching on, whether you're watching live or on replay, or tag anyone in the comments below. Just tag them and then they can come back and watch it in their own time. I'd be super grateful for that. Every week, I consistently deliver JTInTheRaw, 8 o'clock. Times are changing around the world over the next week, so it'll be a little bit flexible for you based on where you are watching, but it's 8 o'clock Sydney time. Work it out on your own local channel. All right, have an awesome weekend. I'll catch you on the flip side.